Good morning, students. Sairam. Welcome back to your English online session. Children, today we shall continue with the lesson number 4.4 My Financial Career by Stephen Leacock. But before that, let us have a quick recap of what we had learned in our previous online session. Now, children, in this lesson, My Financial Career by Stephen Leacock, the narrator went to a bank to open an account as his salary had been raised to $50 a month. He hesitantly reached for the accountant and sought permission to see the manager, who mistook him as a private detective or some millionaire. But when the manager came to know that this man has to deposit $56 now and $50 a month regularly, he unpleasantly showed him the way to the accountant. The accountant took the money and gave it to another clerk. The clerk asked the narrator to write the sum on the slip and sign his name in the book. After confirming whether the amount is deposited, he asked the accountant that he wanted to draw a check. Now let us continue with the lesson. My idea was to draw out $6 of it for present use. Someone gave me a checkbook through a wicket, and someone else began telling me how to write it out. The people in the bank had the impression that I was an invalid millionaire. I wrote something on the check and thrust it in at the clerk. He looked at it. So children, the narrator had deposited $56, okay? But his salary had been raised to $50 a month. So every month he will be depositing $50 a month, but now at present he has deposited $56, okay? So his idea was to draw out $6 of it for the present use. So someone gave him the checkbook through a wicket, and someone else, they began telling him how to write it out. And the people in the bank, they had the impression that he was an invalid millionaire. The narrator wrote something on the check and thrust it in at the clerk. Now children, thrust means when you push with great energy, okay? When you push suddenly or you put something with great energy. So the narrator, he wrote something on the check and thrust it in at the clerk. Now children, remember here the spelling of check should be CHEQUE, okay? He looked at it. What? Are you drawing it all out again? He asked in surprise. Then I realized that I had written 56 instead of 6. I was too far gone to reason now. I had a feeling that it was impossible to explain the thing. All the clerks had stopped writing to look at me. Now children, the narrator had deposited $56 and he wanted to withdraw just $6 for his present use. But then instead of writing 6, what mistake he has committed? He had written 56 instead of 6. And now it was very difficult to explain the thing. In nervousness, he has done this mistake. So all the clerks, they had stopped writing to look at the narrator. Reckless with misery, I made a plunge. Yes, the whole thing. You withdraw your money from the bank? Every cent of it? Are you not going to deposit any more? Said the clerk, astonished. Never. So here, reckless with misery, I made a plunge. So reckless means he was very careless, okay? Why he was careless here? Because he was very nervous, okay? So reckless with misery, I made a plunge. Plunge also means to rush out. Yes, the whole thing. You withdraw your money from the bank. So he has deposited $56 and by mistake he had written $56 on the check, okay? So all were very, very astonished. They were surprised, okay? So they asked him whether you wanted to withdraw the money from the bank. Every cent of it means everything whatever you had deposited. Are you not going to deposit any more? Said the clerk, astonished. The clerk was surprised. So the narrator said, never. An idiot hope struck me that they might think something had insulted me while I was writing the check and that I had changed my mind. I made a wretched attempt to look like a man with a fearfully quick temper. So, children, now in nervousness, he had made a mistake and he realized now it is very difficult to explain everyone. So, an idiot hope struck him that when he was writing the check, he might have felt insulted or something and he had changed his mind to withdraw the entire amount. And he made a wretched attempt to look like a fearfully look like a man with a fearfully quick temper. Now, fearfully quick temper means the people, those who get very angry. Okay, they get angry for certain things. So, idiot hope struck him that they might think something had insulted the narrator while he was writing the check, and he had changed his mind that he will withdraw the entire amount. And he was a man with quick temper who used to get very angry. The clerk prepared to pay the money. How will you have it? He said. What? How will you have it? Oh, I caught his meaning and answered, without even trying to think. In 50s. He gave me a $50 bill. And the 6? He asked wryly. In 6s, I said. He gave it me and I rushed out. So the clerk, he prepared to pay the money and he asked him, how will you have the money? So he said, in 50s. And the clerk, he gave him a $50 bill. And then he asked him, the remaining 6? He said, in 6s. He gave it, the amount to the narrator, and the narrator rushed out. As the big doors swung behind me, I caught the echo of a roar of laughter that went up to the ceiling of the bank. Since then, I bank no more. I keep my money in cash in my trousers pocket and my savings in silver dollars in a sock. So, children, the narrator, he could hear the echo of roar of laughter that went up to the ceiling of the bank. And since then, he decided that he will bank no more. He used to keep his money in cash in his trousers pocket and his savings in silver dollars in a sock. So, children, this is a humorous story wherein the narrator, or you can say the author, he has given the real life experiences of so many people. So, many people, they get nervous when they go to the bank because they don't know about the system. Okay, so about the banking system. So, they get very, very nervous. Okay, so this is the actual life experience of the writer. I hope you have understood this story. Okay. Alright, children, now let us see what's there in English workshop. Find from the lesson the antonyms of the following. Afterwards, beforehand. Spending, saving. Careful, reckless. Withdraw, deposit. Confidently, timidly. Cheerful, sepulchral. Children, remember you have to write the antonyms from the lesson. Okay? Now, fill in the blanks using the appropriate word or idiom from the lesson. The dash solved the mysterious crime. Yes, children, what is the answer? The detective solved the mysterious crime. Next one. In the examination, I did not know the answer. So yes, in the examination, I did not know the answer. So I became a hesitating J. He was dizzy and he dashed into the room. He was dizzy and he shambled into the room. While arguing with his elders, he had made a wretched attempt to look like a man with a fearfully quick temper. The sight of a snake rattled him. As soon as I dash off my home, I greet my family. As soon as I cross the threshold of my home, I greet my family. Now let's see what's the next activity. Using the following points, frame a character sketch of the narrator. Support each character trait with instances from the lesson. Diffident and timid, unusual behavior, ignorant about banking, nervous and careless, economical. So children, based on these points, you are supposed to frame a character sketch of the narrator. Character sketch of the narrator. The narrator was a diffident and a timid person. So children, diffident here means he was very shy due to lack of confidence. Okay, so he was very timid person, a very shy person. Everything about the bank made him nervous. In fact, he was so nervous that he did not even know what he was doing and what he was signing. He behaved in an unusual manner, shambling into the bank and talking in a gloomy voice as if he had a secret. It was also unnecessary for him to ask the manager whether he could talk to him alone. He was ignorant about banking and too nervous to show his ignorance. He did not know how to open an account or write a check correctly. He was careless because of his nervousness and wrote the wrong figure on the check, which he did not attempt to correct. He was careful in spending his money and saved enough to keep it in silver dollars in a sock at home. So children, based on the points, you have to write the character sketch of the narrator. Okay. Now next one. Rewrite the following in indirect speech. Can I see the manager? I said. Certainly, said the accountant. Yes, let's see what's the answer. I asked the accountant whether I could see the manager. The accountant replied that I could certainly do so. Now children, the first part of the question, can I see the manager? It's an interrogative sentence. Yes, so you have to write, I asked the accountant whether I could see the manager. Can will change to could. And the next part, the accountant replied that I could certainly do so. The next one, good morning, I said and stepped into the safe. Come out, said the manager coldly. Now let's see what's the answer. I wished good morning and stepped into the safe. The manager ordered me coldly to come out. Now children, this is an imperative sentence. Yes, so accordingly you have to use a reporting verb. So the manager ordered me coldly to come out. Remember here children, it's an imperative sentence. So you have to use your to. Okay, so the manager ordered me coldly to come out. What? Are you drawing it all out again? He asked in surprise. Yes, the whole thing, I said. He asked me in surprise whether I was drawing it all out again. I replied in affirmative and confirmed that I was drawing out the whole thing. So your children, though it's a question, it's asked in surprise. So you have to write, he asked me in surprise whether I was drawing it all out again. Now you will change to I. And next part, I replied in affirmative and confirmed that I was drawing out the whole thing. Next one, how will you have it? He said. In 50s, I said. So first part, it's a question. So he asked me how I would have it. Will change to would. I replied that I would have it in 50s. So, okay, so this way you have to change it from direct to indirect speech. Okay, so I hope you have understood the activities which were there in the English workshop. Also the lesson My Financial Career by Stephen Leacock. Okay. So thank you my dear students. Take care of yourself. Sai Ram.